Good day, everybody. Good day. Good day. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome. Welcome to Living Life in Joy. I am Rev Melissa, and it is my pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. We have a great show in store. I am so excited. I am so excited. So let's go, set, ready. Welcome again, y'all. Don't you just love that opening? Good day, mommy. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Welcome, everybody, to Living Life in Joy. This is the show that it's like another expression of joy for me because my mission, y'all, my mission is to be a vehicle of joy in the world. And so Living Life in Joy is all about that. People who are living life in joy, connected to their yes. So we're going to get into it. Living life in joy. We are celebrating Black History Month. And I decided, how did I want to recognize and honor Black History Month? And so I said, you know what? I want to lift up Black men. I want to lift up Black men because I love Black men. I love their excellence. And so we have kicked off February with Rev Z, who is the minister at CSL Denver, Centers for Spiritual Living Denver. And then we have my soul brother, Sekou Wright, who's a visionary, writer, author, hero hoodie creator. He was on talking about all the wonderfulness that he's doing. And then last week, we had Olubode Sean Brown, who is the founder, and he calls himself the father of Bloom, all about your journey, that essential journey of life that you are in. And so by way of today, I want to introduce today's guest in this way. We're going to show him, and then I'm going to tell you who he is. We're going to do a little show and tell. Oh, there's no sound. All right, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. All right. So while we work out the sound with the video, I have been watching and listening to my guest for quite some time. He is an amazing, amazing singer. And I became aware of his presence in the universe through New Thought. And I first saw him, he came to Sacred Center many moons ago, and that was my first experience of him. And since then, I just followed him around and check out what he's doing. So he is today's guest. I want to see if we have the video ready. And if we do, we'll do that. If not, then we're going to bring him on.
If the world was a better place because of you, what if you had more love and compassion in all you do? The world would be a better place. We'd all live with ease and grace. Just believe in the dream, it can really come true. Here's what you do. Join hearts. Let love's healing start.
Yes, join hearts. Let love's healing start.
Yeah.
Todd Stevens is in the room. It is so wonderful to have you with me today on the show, Living Life in Joy. This is Todd Stevens, everybody. He is a singer, songwriter, actor, dancer. And I love that he says that he's a spirit yearning to find true freedom, a
Mhm.
spirit yearning to find true freedom. Welcome to the show, Ty.
Thank you so much, Reverend Melissa. I am so pleased and happy to be here. Thank you so much, and to be amongst the many, many luminaries you've had on your show in the last couple of weeks. Nice to be nice to be counted in with these brothers. Honestly.
Well, you are a Black man of excellence. And so I am so grateful that you were able to appear to close out, February for us.
Wonderful. Thank you. My honor. My honor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you talk about being a spirit yearning for true freedom.
Mhm.
What is that about for you?
I have spent the majority of my life seeking and I'd say even acquiring what gives me joy. And since your show is about joy, it's a wonderful way to talk about it. I found my joy in the arts. Some people might find it in different places, but I've always been in the arts in some way, shape, or form. I started in fine art. I thought I was going to be a graphic designer, but I couldn't sit still long enough. So then I moved into, my mom put me in theater and dance, and those were where I really found myself and started to find myself even more. And I'm still discovering. I mean, there's still more to find, because life is always unfolding and always bringing new ideas and ways of finding joy or being joy. And that's, I guess, to wrap it all up in a nutshell, I think that's what it is. It's about being joy.
Yes, yes. The beingness, right? The
Yeah.
beingness. So tell me, I love your music, Ty. It's just, it lifts my spirit. You could feel the spirit in the music,
Thank you.
you know?
Thank you.
And so what informs your process as a songwriter?
Life, basically observation of life, and then some things that go on in here that I don't really share outright with people. Those conversations with myself or conversations with God. That and through all of that, and through the years of working in this business, I've come to the conclusion that my music and my art are my ministry. It's how I want to live in the world and to be the example in the world. So that's what informs my music is and it's not 100% spiritually based music, although I'm working on a CD that's just about done. It should be done in a next couple of weeks, actually. That is all spirit in its different forms of expression through me. So some of it is like very, very deep and meditative, and some of it is funky as get out. So it's all of me. It's all of the expressions that come through me. So it's called the album is called Spirit Rising, and there's a song that I've been doing lately called Spirit Rising. That is a part of that package.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, a lot has happened in this last year, in 2020, and the impact of the pandemic and COVID on the arts in particular.
Right.
And I know that it's impacted, musicians and, the whole spectrum of art. Can you speak a little bit about how that's impacting you and what activism that you're doing around that for?
Cool.
That whole field?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. The immediate effect is that most of us who work in the business that I work in, gig workers, we are called, and which is kind of a recent phrase. I didn't really think of it that way, but it's the truth. We work from gig to gig. So we're not getting a salary from anywhere. We're not getting a pension plan from anyone. We're not getting a health plan from anyone. So when things shut down, they shut down. We flatlined. There was nothing available to us because many of us, and I'm fortunately not one of them, are not eligible for regular unemployment. So what then? And so there have been musicians the estimate is there's like 72% of musicians are not working at this time. That's 72%, which they say is like twice the number of artists during the Depression that were not, twice. So this is all. So I'm working with an organization called Music Workers Alliance, and tomorrow we're having a rally in front of Governor Cuomo's office in Manhattan to just shine the light on the fact that people who do what we do in the entertainment business are so vulnerable during this time of COVID when we can't gather in places. Our work is totally premised on people gathering in public places in volumes, because nobody can make any money if 4 people show up and are spaced 6 feet apart. It just doesn't work. So we're looking to be a part of the conversation when it's being had to reopen, and how do we restructure? How do we continue to include what we do? Because restaurants will reopen, but that doesn't mean they're going to include music.
Right.
Because now that's another expense. And if they're working at 25% capacity, they're not making any money. They can't pay us, blah, blah, blah. So now we're looking to the government to create a program, much like Roosevelt did back in the Depression, where the arts are supported by the government, which they do in so many other countries. And when we think about music and art and the humanities, how they inform and build a more rounded person, and a more passionate person, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to really foster now, is to bring forth. And I'm going to say this before I finish this sentence. I know that this whole thing with COVID, as much as it's been a headache and a heartache for so many of us, there is a renaissance coming out of this. And I know that we are all part of it. You, us as musicians, you as spiritual people, we as spiritual beings and spiritual leaders are a new rebirth, a renaissance of heart and spirit and love. And I know that's the truth. And let me just say one more last thing about that. They say that we are being ushered into the age of Aquarius, and me being an Aquarian, I believe that.
Yes, it is. There is a awakening. There is an awakening. In my other show, in Morning Sip, I'm talking about the quickening. And there is a quickening that is happening that, if you sit still and you're really in tune, you can feel that inflow of divine vitality that is seeking expression. You can feel it. It's palpable.
Yep.
And I have to tell you, Ty, that's how I feel when I listen to your music. It comes through. There is a divine vitality there for sure. So the other flyer we had up looked like that was a party. What's going on? Live stream concert.
So, in the spirit of keeping music alive, we're trying, all of us are trying to do various and sundry things that are either remote or completely virtual. So this is one of the clubs that we've worked at on many occasions. It's owned by one of our kind of rotating players. His name is Ed Jackson. He has a place called the Jackson Room in Queens. And so he's invited me and the whole band, my brothers, to come out and play a live show that's going to be streamed. So that's this coming Saturday, the 27th. And I think we start at 8 o'clock, and it's on the flyer. I don't remember much of anything, but we started. We start at 8:30.
Okay.
Okay. Eastern time, and it's a concert of what we do. It's the music that we present. It will include some of the music that we've talked about here briefly, Power to Change, and probably not Spirit Rising necessarily, because we got some other stuff that we want to bring in, and Ed's going to be playing sax on some of the stuff that he knows, so we have to keep it kind of familiar for him. We don't want to throw something at him. He goes, okay, now what are changes on this thing?
Right. So I will post your flyers on my page so that folks who are checking us out now can get the information and support, because we have to support the arts and we have to support the artists. I don't know, I was sharing with Ty before the show that both of my girls dance, and one of them performs, and she's a actor and she dances, and it just brings them to life. And so there is something missing. There is something missing with that expression not being expressed.
Yeah. And you think about the fact that we're talking about New York. We're not talking about some small town somewhere else. Not saying that the impact is not as great, but New York is entertainment. New York is that vibration of creativity. And that vibration is so muffled now that it's going to affect, if we're not careful, the development of the humans that are experiencing it. Because one of the main things that really sort of upsets me is the more recent removal of the arts from regular education programs.
Yes.
Where you have to go outside to find dance or theater. I mean, we used to do plays in school all the time. Of course, they're still doing them, but it's now it's more effortful and it's not part of the curriculum.
Right.
Music appreciation, music education, etc. And I'll even throw in the vocational arts. I always want to advocate for that because it's one of the things that when it was removed, it removed one of the rungs in the ladder for people who are not creative or on that level and people who are not academic. People who have to work with their hands. Give them a craft.
Yeah.
You used to be able to apprentice through high school to a wood shop or a metal shop or an auto body shop. And now it's like, what are these guys doing?
Exactly.
So that's why this rise in aimlessness, I won't call it necessarily crime or whatever, but I'll call it aimlessness, is upon us like it is, because we're not supporting and giving these young people something creative to do with their hearts and hands.
Yes.
I could go on.
Yes. It's not considered essential.
Yeah.
It's not considered essential. Essential became a big word out of COVID.
Absolutely.
What's essential and what's not essential. And the arts is essential.
Yeah.
It's essential, and it is going to have an impact.
Yeah.
For generations to come, I believe, because there's so much that's not being cultivated and nurtured. There's a nurturing that happens in the arts that really can't be substituted any other kind of way.
No way.
And so you teach. So how is that for you in this type of environment?
Well, it's interesting because, one of the reasons I was saying that I'm fortunate that I'm not one of those people who couldn't get unemployment. I was fortunate because I teach through the public school system in New Jersey, and I've been doing it for years. I've accumulated that, that whatever you call it, privilege. We'll call it so I teach dance to public school elementary kids in their gyms once or twice every month or something like that. And since it's several schools, it gives me steady employment for a good 12 weeks during the school year. So I'm back to teaching now, but I'm teaching virtually. And it's a real challenge because, the physicality of dance and the interaction of dance is part of why we do it, and to try to do it on a tiny screen. And, you have to stand where they can see your whole body, but you can't see the screen because now they're so far away that you see these little, especially as old people, I can see so far, but after a while I was like, I can't see what they're doing.
Yes.
The challenge, and one thing I'm just very grateful that it's at least being considered and being applied. That someone saw the value in whether we're in the classroom or not, that dance has for the spirit of these kids, because that's what it did for me. That's what propelled me into this business and into honestly a place of self-esteem, a place that told me that I was valuable, that I had something to contribute to the world that was valuable, and the spiritual component of dance. If anybody has any doubts about it, something is wrong with you. That's all I got to tell you. Dance is spirit. And when I would, when I was feeling down or something was bothering me and I had to go to a dance class, I completely forgot what was going on because I was so immersed in the art. And when I came out of it that day, then, because I would take 2 or 3, 4 classes a day, who knew I had a problem? I was you're filled with adrenaline and what is that? Endorphins. And your body is tingling and you are excited and you're around other people who are doing the same thing. And we're just bursting with joy and with energy. And so the arts in general, music, dance, whatever else you throw into that category, invaluable, essential.
Essential, yes. So I had 3 essential joy questions for you. And I just want to respond to Diego.
Oh, yes.
So the date is Saturday, yes?
Saturday 27th.
At 8:30.
8:30 Eastern time, because I know we're international, aren't we?
We're international, that's right. That's right. All right, here's the first question. What does joy look like for you?
Well, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at you. Which is one fine example is people
people who are themselves joy.
Mm.
And that's what joy looks like. Joy is walking and talking and singing and dancing and sharing information and family of choice and friends. That's what joy is to me. And well, let's throw music in there, because all of those elements I just mentioned, the component that really elevates it is music for me, because my family, all about music. Oh, any kind of talking that we do always falls back into some song that we grew up with.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that.
Thank
and
you.
so I say that I live life in joy, right? So what do you live life in?
I would wager to say the same. If not joy itself, then the seeking of joy. Or the acknowledging of joy, of opening up to what is already there, because we know it's already available to us all the time.
Yeah.
So it is joy. It's through so many mediums. I love to travel, and thank God my music and my work, part of what I do is traveling. And so part of the joy that I get out of traveling is seeing and experiencing other cultures, and knowing that the spirit of human beings is all about one thing. It's just about life. It's not about all this political stuff. At the beginning of Power to Change, the video and the audio, when you hear the album, you'll hear that I say something to the effect that, for one, the song was written with a Russian friend of mine. I would travel to Russia for over 10 years, like 4 or 5 times a year performing. And it says basically that it shows you that the relations between people are just fine. Now, we edited out the part that I said, those other people, the politicians, I was getting a little political. So my producer, Richard Cummings, said, we can take that part out. So it's cool. And I'm open to it. But, the fact is that people around the world are just living their lives and wanting to be loved and wanting to have food on their table and take care of their children and each other. And that's my joy, is to know that the world is just one place of loving beings, and that the stuff that we're experiencing through the media, especially because the media is so prevalent and so everywhere and all the time, it's just bombardment of negative energy, and it's not the truth. Honestly, it's not.
It's not the truth. It is not the truth. Amen to that. And so I know this last one is a doozy for you, being a singer and songwriter. What is your joy song?
Okay. It took me a minute to find, because music is, this see all this stuff here, this fiber, that's music. Because I can't live without it. I couldn't, blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on and on, but I won't. So it took me a minute to decide what song I wanted to advocate as my joy song, because there are so many. I first went to Stevie Wonder. And, he's the first person, he's my go-to for joy and for music and for creativity and for artistry. There's Shaka Khan, there's Ruth, there's all these people, but I settled on my own music. Because it was an easier call. I was like, okay, because all those people are getting in the way. So let's just focus on me again and know that what I've put out in terms of what I see joy as is this song. It's called Love is in the Room, because that's when you are safe and warm and loved. And when love is in the room, and it's always there if you bring it.
Yes. All right, let's show a little snippet of your joy song. Love is in the room.
While the vibe is high, we're lifted up, spirits fly, pure and simple reason why. Love is in the room, spirits moving all the time, dancing diamonds, sparkles shine. What's that feeling so divine? Love is in the room, safe in the rhythm. Let yourself go, free from your prison. Go for what you know. Love is in the room.
Yes, love is certainly in the room. Love is certainly in the room. Well,
Yeah.
Ty Stevens, thank you so much for just gracing us with your presence, for
Oh,
bringing love in the room, for doing what you do, for
thank you.
being joy through song. I just
Thank
love
you.
you so much.
Oh, I love you
And
too, and thank you so much.
thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
CSLNJ.
Yes, yes. So I will post Ty's event. So please go to I Am Red Melissa and you can see what is happening tomorrow to support music and also the live streaming concert on Saturday at 8:30 Eastern Time. Thank you again, Ty. It was wonderful to spend some joy time with you. All right, so the next thing I want to share, I said that today's show is this whole month was to celebrate Black men in excellence. And so I came upon a young Black man, very young, who is all about Black excellence. And so I just had to share this on today's show. He is the son of, I belong to an organization called Mocha Moms, and Melanie has a wonderful, engaging son. And he did his Black History Month project on the Excellence Kids Network. Now, I'm not sure if that is his network or if it's part of a larger situation, but it's the Excellence Kids Network. His name is Aiden Mondesir, and he did something awesome. So please check this out.
Good evening. I am Aiden Mondesir, reporting for the Excellent.
So we're going to try it again.
Good evening. I am Aiden Mondesir, reporting for the Excellent Kids Network. Today's
Let's pull it out and try it again, producer. Yeah. So we just been having little tech stuff going on. So we're going to try it again because I really want you to get the full effect of this of this young man and the enthusiasm he has. You know, he is basically doing a news broadcast, just sharing excellence and someone that is a hero to him. So let's try it again.
Good evening. I am Aiden Mondesir, reporting for the Excellent Kids Network. Today's spotlight on Black excellence is Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman. On January 6, 2021, thousands of angry Donald Trump supporters attacked the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. They broke through barricades and broke down the doors and the windows to force their way into the Capitol. Officer Eugene Goodman was inside when a mob of rioters made it inside. He was alone with no backup. But he knew he could not let the mob get to the Senate chamber where former Vice President Mike Pence and the senators were. The mob would cause destruction and maybe even hurt those inside. He led them away from the Senate chamber so that everyone in there could escape to safety. Officer Goodman led the mob to another floor where police officers were ready to arrest them all. They must have been mad.
Yes, I wish we could show the whole thing. We're just having technical difficulties. I'll post the video on my page also. But when he said they must have been mad, I just fell out. I just fell out. So he is expressing that Capitol Officer Eugene Goodman is a hero of his, and his Black History Month project was about Eugene Goodman and excellence and Black excellence. So Aiden, you are incredible. He is so funny. He has such confidence and he shows such bravery by just putting out his personality in the way that he does. So Aiden, I just wanted to give you some love and to expand what you are doing. So if you want to follow Aiden, you can follow him on his IG page, which is follow him on Instagram at Aiden Supernova. And that right there, that tells you a whole bunch about him, right? Aiden Supernova. And that is exactly what he is. He is a superstar. So thank you, Melanie, for letting me just share Aiden with my platform. I just think he is brilliant and he is excellence. He is excellence. He is excellence. All right, y'all. So I want to share a couple of announcements before we wrap up the show. So, Hero Hoodies for Children, I've been talking about this on Morning Sip. The Congregation of Joy is supporting Hero Hoodies. We are focusing on children's size Hero Hoodies. The Hero Hoodies movement is going to 3 cities in March, to Memphis, to Louisville, and to Walls, Mississippi. And we are supporting this. The Hero Hoodies movement is going to be giving and supporting women's shelters in those 3 cities. This is the movement that was created by Sekou Rights. And so if you want to participate, please go to giveherohoodies.com. It is a give one, get one, a go-go. So you get a hero and one will be given to this amazing, amazing movement of providing hero hoodies to young people and to women who are living in shelters. So what I say is I was inspired by this by my children. I told them about the hero hoodies and they just thought the idea of children giving hero hoodies to other children was just everything for them. So I got them 2 hoodies in their name, and they know that 2 children will receive a hero hoodies also. So please join this effort. Go to givehoodies.com and give and get. Or you could do what a lot of people are doing. They're donating both hoodies to the cause. Okay? All right. The other thing I want to announce is meditating with the moon. We do a meditation with the full moon and with the new moon. And so this week, Saturday at 4 a.m., yes, 4 a.m. Eastern time, we meditate with the moon. We do a spiritual practice together. And so you need to register. Just go to my page, I Am Rev Melissa, and the information is there. It's on Eventbrite. It's on Zoom, and you need the link to get into the room. And then lastly, check out my podcast. There's so much joy there on my podcast. It is a sip of my sips. It's called Sip with Rev Melissa. And this week's podcast is all about sacred. So it's sacred work. And we've been talking about that today with Ty. The work that he does is sacred work. And we have the opportunity to share the sacredness that we are across the land. So thank you so much for being with me today for this episode of Living Life in Joy. We're going to keep it going. I want to share more of Ty with you. So we're going to do Power of Change as the outro to the show. So please sit back and enjoy and understand that we are living life in joy and we are connected to our yes.